Charity Gibson from Peerless Umbrella. Hi.
Hello.
This is going to be fun.
It's going to be something.
Yeah. Well, you guys have some of the coolest programs out there when it comes to all things social good promotions.
Thank you.
So I thought it would be great to have you in to talk a little bit about the two big ones and how it benefits, who it benefits, kind of what goes on. But then for the second one, I want to talk a little bit more about how it gets used potentially for someone who might be considering the Rainy Day Hero program. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Peerless as an organization.
Okay.
Time in business, how long you've been with the company, where it's based and headquartered, things like that.
So some fun trivia about Peerless Umbrella. We are a company that was founded in 1927, and we were originally founded as a parachute company.
Oh, interesting.
Obviously, after World War II, the parachutes were not necessarily a big need, and the company then transitioned into selling umbrellas.
Interesting.
And yeah, so working on that 100-year mark, and we are third-generation family-owned, one of the fewer suppliers that are left in the industry that do that. We're also a manufacturer, so instead of going to China and picking products and flying them home, we actually manufacture, design all of our own products and goods.
Nice.
So yeah, the stuff that you see in our line, you'll be inspired by some retail brands, but you're not going to find them pretty much anywhere else in the industry, which is good. So we can control the quality, and there's a lot of fun stuff that happens with that. As far as I'm concerned, I joined the company actually about 5.5 years ago when I started doing their social media, and was offered the job as National Accounts Coordinator 2.5 years ago. So I work with some of the biggest companies in our industry, just putting together programs and helping people like you learn the value of umbrellas for rainy days and sunny days and decorative ways and all of that, and then also bags too.
Well, having known you as long as I have, I know that you have a unique perspective on the ways that you like to make your own decisions. Oh. And so when it comes to having made the choice for Peerless, what was it about them culturally that really cemented it for you?
Well, first off, before I came to the supplier side or the social media side, service provider, I actually was a distributor myself. So I was in the shoes of you guys out on the streets pushing product, and Peerless was one of my most valued suppliers. And so I loved right away that I knew the quality of their product, they offer the lifetime guarantee, and just the people. And when you call, you get Sheila. And it's a person. Yeah, we're a bigger company, but we've got those kind of small company values, and people have been with the company. I am the newest kid on the block. Actually, we've got one kid that's newer to the company than I am, but most people that have been there have been between 38 and 45 years.
Wow.
They've started out like from childhood and have been there. So when we say it's family, it's a family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about organizationally the giving heart that you've witnessed when it comes to Peerless.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, I know every October people typically wear pink, and some of it gets a little bit cliche, but I love that Dan Edge is the president of our company, and he every one Friday every October he challenges all of us to wear pink, and for everybody in the company that wears pink, he actually will donate $20 to a breast cancer foundation that helped his mom, who recently died of breast cancer. And so that's a thing that's very near and dear to him. And he's a cancer survivor himself, which he does not publicize, so I don't want to go too much into that, but
Sure.
He's just got this heart of gold. And then every year we do a toy drive and also a coat drive in New Jersey. And being their social media person, I didn't know that was going on until I got the pictures of it happening, and it's continued every year since then. So we've been able to donate toys and donate clothing. We've got food drives and things like that we do locally in New Jersey. And then that's just branched out to bigger and better things, and we're probably going to talk about that with the Rainy Day Heroes and the Threads of Hope.
Yeah.
But no, it's just apparent from the minute that you walk in the door, and in all the just things that they do, that it's a company with a heart of gold.
Well, from a culture perspective, when you have the lion's share of your organization has never laughed.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good example about
yeah.
how they treat their people and the way that the people who work for the organization feel about the company that they work for, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not just a job to them, clearly.
Not at all, yeah. And everybody has a story about how they came to Peerless and a reason why they stay. And it's it's fun to hear those stories too. So if you ever come to Peerless, sit down and talk with any of the employees, and they'll give you I got here because we went to boys camp with Gene, and he was a counselor, and so he's brought all these people in. It's really, really fun.
That's neat. So in keeping with that, Peerless has engineered some programs that allow for people who are considering making a purchase of branded merchandise to have an opportunity to have a positive impact in the world. So let's talk a little bit about those two programs.
Yeah, so we've got two programs in particular now that are probably the biggest ways that people in the general population can get involved with what we do. The first one is really special to me. It's Rainy Day Heroes. And I didn't know this, but before I came to the company, Anya McIntosh is one of our sales reps in the Tennessee area. And she had mentioned to Dan about wanting to start a program where we could give away some of the umbrellas that would normally be discarded to people less fortunate. And I didn't know anything about that. But I went to Austin, Texas, and I had a meeting with a couple distributors, and as I'm lugging my suitcase down the street and holding the umbrellas that wouldn't fit, I was approached by a number of homeless men and women. The first guy, he said, "I'm not gonna hurt you." He's like, "I don't wanna harm you in any way, I see that you have an umbrella, you have a number of umbrellas, and I was wondering if there's any way that maybe I could have one, because it's hot in Texas and we are out on the street, and that would be a really big help for us." I'm like, wow. Oh my gosh, yes, please take my umbrella. That's great. Somebody across the street saw, and so I'm continuing to walk, and I saw you gave an umbrella, and do you have one more by chance? I'm yes. So by the time I got to the end of 6th, I was out of umbrellas. But they were already using them. They're sitting on the side of the street, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also so hope-giving to me that a product that we would think of every day as, okay, rain protection or whatever, that people would treasure something, a $4 or $5 umbrella or a $10 umbrella, depending on, whatever, that would give them hope. And
a measure of comfort.
And a measure of comfort, yeah. And so I came back to Dan and I said, "Do we have discards? Is there anything that we have that we could put together something?" And so we talked about the Rainy Day Heroes program. That's kind of how it was born. Now, originally, Rainy Day Heroes was the hashtag that I used because you never need an umbrella until you need an umbrella. And the thought was, if your brand is giving out an umbrella, then you become the hero on the rainy day. So it was be a rainy day hero. But as this program developed, now it's the hashtag that we use to just kind of celebrate our giving initiative. And so now, as a distributor, you can contact us and request a Rainy Day Hero box, and we'll put 50 of our misprints or unsellable umbrellas into a box with your shipper number, and to send it out to you free of charge so that you can hand out these umbrellas in your neighborhoods and in your communities. Right. And I think the best part of this has been, we did a video at Peerless where we went out on a rainy day in New Jersey and handed these out to everybody. So good. I watch it and I still cry. Yeah. But the most rewarding part, I think, for me has been all of the distributors that we've sent boxes to that send back pictures and things like that. So I know Johan, you guys probably don't know her, but somebody in the industry got one, and she sent her little 3-year-old daughter out, and she was handing out umbrellas.
So adorable.
Adorable. And so that's the cute part of it, but the best part of it is just the hope that it brings to people in the community. So.
Agreed. And to your point, we're still talking about the less fortunate and the unintended consequence of living in Texas in the summertime, and what that mandates from I just need shelter. And you don't typically think of an umbrella as a sunshine product. And yet, in that 1 4-block stretch of 6th Street, you learned a very valuable lesson about the real value of the products that you sell.
Absolutely. Well, so ironically, umbrellas originally, back in the Bronze Age, were invented to keep sun off of skin. Even the name itself, there's a whole history about it. It's just the American way that we've actually modernized it and brought it in for rain. But we also have the sun umbrellas now too with the UV. So, but yeah, originally umbrellas were for sun.
Interesting.
Yeah, now you know.
Well, and so for anyone who might be considering a purchase, certainly the opportunity for you as a business to participate in the Rainy Day program is also something that we would be happy to activate on behalf of any customer who might be interested in being a rainy day hero yourself. I've been party to it, where we've gone out and gone to a retirement home and followed the truck around as they were going to the various locations on an inclement day, and holding the umbrellas for the people who were getting off the bus, and just the gratitude that they express to you about, thank you so much. You wouldn't think that that's a big deal, but we're not getting wet in the little bit of time that we're on and off the bus, and thank you so much. And it really is gratifying. So for anyone that would be interested in doing it, just give me a shout and we'll make that work for you too. But that's not all that goes on there.
Before we even do that, so you brought up a really good point about the following the bus, the nursing home. It's just so funny. Last week, my boss handed me a greeting card, and my inside sales rep had gotten Chinese food delivered. And it was raining outside. The guy comes up to bring her the food, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's raining." She's like, "You can't be out delivering food in the rain," and hands him an umbrella. The next day in her mailbox, this greeting card, "Thank you so much for providing me the umbrella. That was very nice of you," signed her delivery driver. So I thought, cool. Along that same, sometimes people don't always say, and we don't do things nice to expect a thank you back, but when you get that, he went out of his way to come all the way back to her house and stick a thank you card in her mailbox. Neat. So umbrellas have a big opportunity to help people out, and when you put your logo on it and send that message out into the world, that it becomes a walking billboard for not only your brand, but that brand message that you send of hope and kindness, and shares your values with the rest of the world.
Right. So. And before we pivot,
Friends.
It's interesting to think that in our industry, the products that we sell have the opportunity to have a positive impact in the world. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about the Threads of Hope program, which actually is to the benefit of a specific nonprofits of a buyer's direction. But the products themselves as well, in many instances, can serve that same purpose.
Absolutely.
As opposed to necessarily making a purchase that has a direct tie-in to some nonprofit organization.
Correct.
So there's what the product can do, and then what the purchase of the product enables.
Correct.
So in Threads of Hope program, it's more about what the purchase of the product enables. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in addition to the Rainy Day Heroes program, Dan let me get creative with my bad self. Now, sometimes he gives me a little too long of a leash, but in this case, I think it worked out good. So the Threads of Hope program, we have a bunch of products that are on clearance and they're just not moving. Maybe we over-manufactured them and they're just not moving for some whatever reason. And so now we've added a number of styles. We started out with 3 and we just added 8 more. And it's called the Threads of Hope, or Clearance for a Cause program. So now for every one of these particular items that is purchased, $1 goes back to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Obviously, we're working on spreading this message. I know in 2018, we were able to donate $2,500 to St. Jude. We're still waiting for the 2019 numbers, but we were hoping to double that, so it'll be interesting to see how close we get this year. And then the bigger thing is that obviously we have clients, and not everybody is passionate about St. Jude. They have different things that are important to them. And so we also offer a create your own give back campaign. So any one of those Threads of Hope products, your clients, if they have a charity or 501c3 that's near and dear to their heart, they can pick their own charity, and we can build a program around that to donate $1 to that charity of their choice. It's
really awesome. So when I'm in the position to be able to create a positive impact with the purchase that I'm making, sometimes I want to be able to direct that.
Yeah.
And it's nice and it's noble when I have the opportunity to know that that purchase that I made did make that contribution, but the added step of then making it so that it's something that is specific to the buyer themselves, as opposed to it just being St. Jude or any other worthy nonprofit, don't get me wrong, but the idea that I can direct my own giving by virtue of the purchases that I make, to me is really powerful.
I agree, and that's exactly why we created it. St. Jude is a fantastic organization, but people are passionate about veterans organizations and human trafficking and all of these different things, and so we've given them a way to play to those passions as well and help in a place that they feel awesome about helping.
Right. Well, and especially if organizationally you have a workforce of any size, it really gives you the opportunity to allow the employees of the organization to rally around a cause that's important to them.
Yeah.
and then use these purchases then to only reinforce what should be a galvanizing moment in an organization when they're all rallying around something bigger than themselves, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so last thing, this is your chance. Someone's watching this right now and they're considering making a purchase. What would you want them to know about if they were to make a purchase specifically when it came to Peerless?
I think the thing that I would want people to know the most is that when we use the cliche statement, "We've got you covered," we actually mean it. We do have the lifetime warranty, but you're supporting 150 employees and all of their families and real people behind these products. So we create them with quality and we create them with love, and that's it. Peerless really does have you covered. It's so cheesy, but I really love it. So.
And just a quick aside for anybody who has never considered an umbrella purchase before, if you think about how products get used and how often logos get seen, an outdoor product oftentimes is the only product. People don't have 5 and 6 umbrellas with them usually. If they are lucky that they even have one, chances are that's the one that they're going to have. So the eyes are going to be on that logo for every instance that product gets used. It's very similar to a piece of outerwear, and I think it's important for people to recognize that a polo shirt only gets worn once a week usually. But something that has to do with the outside can be ubiquitous and used very frequently.
Absolutely, especially at sporting events and different things like that. I know in Arizona, going back to the sunshine thing, people, it must be really difficult to sell umbrellas in Arizona. My kid plays football, and he practices in July. So if I'm a business, I'm going to go to every football field. If the general population is my demographic of potential clients or existing clients, I'm going to hand out umbrellas and bottled water and whatever I can at those games where they are, and I want to be their sunny day hero too. Look, I just made up a new hashtag, sunny day hero. So that I think is an important thing, is to realize. The other thing is, you're a lake guy. You like going outside, and our lake is in a canyon. And so we drive 8 miles back and you're stuck there the whole day. Well, guess what? There's no billboards. Your cell phones don't work. The only thing that gets me when I'm back there are the can coolies, the pop-up tents. People put umbrellas in their boats all day long. And so it's a medium and a message that can stick through cell phone outages, and when no other advertising is effective, these outdoor products are.
Love it. We'll leave it right there.
Leave it there.
We'll leave it there. So Threads of Hope and Rainy Day Heroes programs, let us know if either of those are interesting to you, and we will make sure to make something happen for you.